Podcast doesn't exist. It's got to be episode 12, right?
Gotta be.
It's got to be episode 12. And you know what they say about the 12th episode of every podcast? It's the one that really sets the tone. And this one, it's sink or swim. I mean, if this is a bad episode, we're probably canning it. That's how it feels right now. If it's a good episode, we'll probably double down and make maybe 3-4 episodes a week. But it really comes down to this episode. So, Mitchell, I hope you did your fucking research.
Did not do any.
All right. Well, you got to clutch up. That's the thing, my
All of this stuff, I'm going to make up in the next hour and a half. Just not real stats.
Yep, he's good at that. He's got a good imagination. He's got a good You want to hear a stat that sounds completely made up that I got from Mitchell? Just kidding. This isn't from Mitchell, but this is from SYN Mets. The Mets have lost their 34th game this season. Oh, no. Okay. So the Mets lost today. They lost their first game of the doubleheader. That was their 34th game of the season. This means that they've lost the 34th game of the season every year since 2010. Oh, my God.
That seems like the fakest stat I've ever heard.
I know. SYN Mets. How'd you come up with this shit? Or I guess it's from Brooks Gate. I don't know, man. They got these databases or whatever. They can figure out 34th game of the season. I gotta believe that is a record. That's what 15 years in a row the Mets can't win number 34. Must be cursed.
That sounds like a Mets fan whose birthday is around the 34th game of the year, and they lose every birthday. Every birthday they lose, and they're like, I feel like the Mets lose every day on my birthday.
Yeah, that's a different level of autism. To like know your team's record on it's game 34. What game are the Braves on this year?
Dude, I have no idea.
And Mitch is as sharp as they come. But yeah, the Mets actually got swept today in the doubleheader. The Mets are struggling a little bit, aren't they? 4-8 over the last 10.
It's funny because they're not losing by a lot. Their starting pitching is still really good. Their offense is really good, and then they lose like these coin flip games.
Who have they been playing?
They played the Cardinals this time around. They just had a series with the Phillies, didn't they? And that went okay.
Beat the Phillies. Have they really lost 4 of their last 8? That's not true. They have not 4-6 over their last. They're 6-4 out of their last 10. Oh no, sorry. It's not updated. So yes, because they lost today, they're 4-6 over their last 10. That's against series against the Diamondbacks, the Cardinals, and the Nationals. So maybe because they have harder competition now, they can't win. Mitch, are you off the Mets?
I wish I was.
You would, yeah. We can't be off the Mets this early. The Mets, they're looking good. Are they the best team in the division? If you had to put $1,000,
is it your money?
$100,000 of your own money on what team is going to win the division NL East this year, right now, you have to put it on a team. Who would you put it on?
The Mets.
That's probably the right answer, just because if you're playing numbers, the Mets, they have a 4.5 game lead early, 2.5 game lead over the Phillies right now. And the Phillies played a little bit better. Did you see the Phillies? The Phillies took Taijuan Walker out of the starting rotation. Did you see that?
Well, they got Suarez back.
They got Ranger Suarez back, and Christopher Sanchez, who injured his shoulder. We thought when it happened that was going to be a tough injury, that he's probably going to be done maybe for the year or who knows. But he's made a start or two since. I don't think they've gone well. But if you look at the pitching staff in the Phillies, Taijuan Walker is rocking like a 2.5. Correct me if I'm wrong. The guy's been lights out. To send a guy to the bullpen pitching a 2.5 ERA seems a little suspect to me. I feel like at that point, why not just have a 6-man rotation?
I feel like it's with the Diamondbacks. They have this guy, Ryan Nelson, who's pitched decently over the last couple of seasons, but he's been like a swing man. Like this year, he hasn't started a single game. His ERA is not great. His FIP's fine. Last season, he started 25 games, pitched 28 games, so 3 games out of the bullpen, had a 4.24 ERA, which is like decent. But like the Phillies just have so many good starters that they're like, Taijuan, sorry, man.
Yeah, they do. They have plenty of starters. It's shaky. I feel like it's bad juju to send a guy to the bullpen after he's got a 2.5 ERA, and he's coming off a terrible season last year. But so you want to build up his confidence. They haven't let him pitch deep into games. He's only had 28 innings, but Taijuan Walker, man, you deserve better. I guess his peripheral stats aren't as good. A whip of 1.341 and a 4.01 FIP. But hey, dude, Mr. Sanchez hasn't looked great since that injury, and Ranger Suarez got bounced around today. So, Phillies, where you at, dude? You lost your... And then, dude, the Pope died, and Castellanos didn't even hit a home run. They've lost their identity as a team. I mean, there's tragedies happening, and Castellanos isn't hitting home runs on them anymore. Are they even really the Phillies anymore?
I think you nailed them at the start of the season when they started installing all of these like bullpen protections and fridges in the dugout and lights in the clubhouse. I don't know. Are they the Phillies?
They've completely lost their identity. I mean, 2 weeks ago, the Phillies fans were acting like that, dude. Just sell the fucking team. I mean, goddamn. We're not in first place. We lost to the Mets. Sell the team. They're still doing good. 19-15. That's better than our Braves, who finally fucking won a game against the Dodgers. Holy shit, dude. I think I heard a stat on the radio that we're like 2-10 against the Dodgers in the last 2 years. Something terrible. They swept us the first series. Was that a 4-game series or
that was a 3-game series?
So we're 1-5 this year. Thank God. Rossiel closed it out. Made us nervous facing Austin Barnes. That's a guy on the Dodgers who's been on the Dodgers for, I swear to God, 8 years. And no one could tell you he's on the Dodgers. He's the most anonymous Dodgers players ever. Austin Barnes. Look how long he's been on the Dodgers.
He's Clayton Kershaw's personal catcher.
Is that the reason why Kershaw hasn't
he's terrible. No, like there's no other reason for him to still be on the Dodgers. Like he had a decent season last year, but the 2023 a 37 OPS plus, 2021 72 OPS plus. His career OPS plus is 81.
Yeah, I mean, backup catcher, there's certain guys who just don't need to hit based on your team where your hitting literally does not make a difference, and Austin Barnes has the best job in baseball. He's been on the Dodgers since he was 25 in 2015, so he's been on the Dodgers for 10 years. This is 11th year in a row on the Dodgers, and over the past decade, this has to be the most, talked about team, the team with the most publicity, the most famous team, I would say, the Dodgers, especially over the last 2 years, and nobody ever talks about Austin Barnes. I mean, he doesn't catch because Will Smith. I mean, I swear Will Smith catches every game. I mean, most catchers, you get a break, but Austin Barnes, you never see him back there. But fucking good for Austin Barnes.
I think it's funny. One of the stats on Barnes is that he's also a second baseman. He's played 61 games at second over a 9-year span. So basically 7 games a year, the Dodgers are like, hey, man, we need you to go to second.
Yeah, Austin Barnes is the guy, like when the Dodgers clinch the division, everyone's hung over. He's like, all right, put in Austin Barnes. It's your time to shine, brother. Do your thing. He's the ultimate vibes guy for the Dodgers. No one knows who he is, but he is with the Dodgers still. And he struck out to lose the game, and the Braves won. So we're back. Chop on. I mean, 3 games skid real quick, but we're back on the winning path. And now we got an easier schedule going in. So I would be careful if you're the New York Mets. The New York Metropolitans. The Marlins had a fucking game against the Athletics, though. We will get to that later, but just to tease you, how they beat the Athletics and Mason Miller, I think one of the most legendary home runs ever. And it's not really being talked about, but Kyle Stowers. Remember that name, Mitchell. Kyle Stowers. This is how bad it's gotten for the Orioles. Kyle Stowers. Now, no disrespect to Kyle Stowers, but I think the Orioles traded him halfway through last year or the year before.
They traded him last trade deadline.
Yeah, and Kyle Stowers never really been a top prospect or anything. I think he's 27 years old. I was seeing people tweet after this home run that he had, and Kyle Stowers has had a great start to the season. Not taking anything away from him, but I saw Orioles fans like, this fucking dumbass GM traded away Kyle Stowers. Now we suck. I don't know. If Kyle Stowers is the reason your team isn't doing well, chances are your team wasn't going to do well anyway.
Well, they traded him for Trevor Rogers, who was supposed to be pretty good. Trevor Rogers
Was he?
A couple starts last year with the Orioles and is just terrible.
Yeah.
And now he's in the minor leagues.
I will defend the Orioles fans for saying that because Trevor Rogers trade, and you said he was, I mean, when that trade happened, everyone called it dumb. Like Trevor Rogers with the Marlins last year had a 4.5 ERA, and they traded for him at the deadline. I mean, he was terrible. Not terrible, but you know what I mean. Not great. Not exactly a trade line. No one was saying, oh, no, Watch out for the Marlins and Trevor Rogers. They might put him on the trading block. But they gave away Kyle Stowers. Now, Kyle Stowers is in Miami with Jack's Marlins, living it up, going to the club, going to the beach, and doesn't have to be in shitty Baltimore on a fucking, I mean, he's on a shit team, but at least doesn't have to live in Baltimore on a shit team. He can be in Miami with a shit team, with the Florida boys, like Jack Schwartz.
Is Stowers your favorite player, Jack?
Never heard of him, bro. Never heard of him.
Spoken like a real Marlins fan. I'm a Marlins fan. Who's your favorite player? I don't know. Miguel Cabrera. Who's the most legendary Marlins player in franchise history?
Jeff Conine.
Jeff Conine. Yeah, I mean, he is Mr. Marlin. But, I mean, like, literally who, when you think of a guy in a Marlins jersey, who do you picture?
D-Train. Dontrelle Willis.
Yeah, Dontrelle Willis. Yeah, Dontrelle Willis. Remember when they had the new stadium and the orange jerseys? We're the Miami Marlins.
Blew up the team 5 months later.
Yeah, they had Zambrano out there with the orange jersey, dude. Oh my God, they had that movie, that TV show about it. That was a great team. The fucking Marlins.
I'm trying to keep up the Marlins a bit, dude. I've just been watching Rays, Braves, and Dodgers.
Those are the three teams to watch this year. The Rays, the Braves, and the Dodgers. Miami has fallen to last place. Jack, we'll give you a pass if you want to switch to the Rays. You want to do it officially right now?
I'll wait till I get a new hat.
Okay. Well, we do have a hat giveaway, so stick around to that. So
Maybe I'll get one when I'm in Tampa this weekend.
Ooh, go see Jack Schwartz in Tampa Bay. He'll be there. Moving on to the Central, the Cubbies. The Cubbies had a series. They continue to be hot. This guy, Pete Crow Armstrong. Mitch, is he good?
Is he good?
I thought he was bad. I didn't think he was bad. I didn't think he was hitting like he's hitting.
I think the first 2 weeks of the season, I was like, this guy's going to cool down. And he just hasn't. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, his defense is what I was under the assumption, because I saw he's been in the leaderboards in WAR. I think his defense had a lot. I thought his defense had a lot to do with it. Look, turns out he has 9 homers. I think he has 4, and had 4 in the series, hit 2 in one game, hit a big one to a Brewers fan who threw the ball back on the field and immediately just yelled out a primal fuck. And yeah, that was a tough series for the Brewers. I mean, watching a clip of the Cubs playing the Brewers in Miller Park, or whatever they're calling it now, in Milwaukee, and Pete Crow Armstrong hits this home run. And was it a go-ahead home run? Or this was like a 10?
Yeah, it was this specific homer was a 3-run homer to go up by 3. And you would have thought this was Wrigley and they just imposed a dome over it.
Bro, 90% Cubs fans in Milwaukee. And I guess, I mean, you guys could tell me in the comments if you're a Cubs or a Milwaukee fan, but is this normal?
I feel like it has to be. So when I did my Midwestern baseball trip, it's so easy to get to Chicago. On a train, it took me an hour and a half. If you're driving, it probably only takes you an hour.
Yeah, and honestly, this goes back to why the Cubs don't spend money like people would expect them to. Coming off the 2016, they got to be raking in a ton. It's like the Chicago Cubs is they're in a massive market in Chicago. They're a massive brand. They're one of the most historic teams in MLB, yet they don't spend like the Red Sox have, like the Dodgers have, like the Yankees have. Even they probably don't even compete with mid-level teams like the Braves. They're in that middle tier. But you look around, they're selling out stadiums in Milwaukee in away games, and they're in first place by 3 games right now. They don't need to spend. And it's honestly a big part of it is who's in this fucking division. There's not one team in the Central that you would look at and say, oh, that team is a team that invests in their team. The Reds, the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Pirates.
You don't think Bob Nutting invests in this team?
I mean, if you go down the list of the NL Central, the Reds, the Brewers, the Cardinals, and the Pirates, at least 3 of them, and I would say maybe the Brewers, at least 3 of them, the Reds, the Cardinals, and Pirates, have all had fans and people chanting sell the team and wanting them to sell the team. So the Central has just been a mid-off for a few years now. The Brewers, the Brewers have been good with trading guys. They trade Hader, they trade, who else did they trade? They
Burns.
trade Burns, Devin Williams, they're money balling it up. They're balling on a budget. They end up actually winning the division a lot of times, and they're better than we think, and they fall short in the playoffs. But this series had to have been just like a fucking kick in the balls. Because not only do you lose to the rival, the first place team, they're in your stadium, packing it out, fucking screaming. The Brewers are interesting to me because the Brewers, right now, they're 17th in starters ERA. So they're like a mid to below average starting staff. But they have 3 starters with an ERA under 3. So let's go down the Brewers starting staff right now. And the Brewers are great at this, like getting guys you wouldn't expect to come in and actually end up being really good for them. Chad Patrick, who I've never heard of, has a 2.87 ERA. He's balling for the Brewers. Love that. Freddie Peralta leads the team in WAR. He's having a resurgent season. 2.52 ERA, 1.3 WAR. Jose Quintana, still doing it at 36. Underrated player. Has been amazing for him. 2.83 ERA. So that's 3 starters who are elite. I mean, they're probably, based on ERA, they got to be top 20 starters, and they're all on one staff. Yet they still, as a starting staff, are 17th in ERA.
It really, I think, comes down to that first week. Not just against the Yankees, but they also struggle against, I think, the Royals of all teams. That really just blew up their starters ERA. I think they allowed like a bazillion runs in that first week.
That's a good point. Yeah, that can do it to you. But they don't have their 4th starter is Quinn Priester. I only see 4 listed. They've had 9 guys make starts this year. They just don't have a good back end, and they're using their bullpen like crazy. And I guess that's part of the Moneyball strategy. Like you can get, I guess, cheaper players out of the bullpen if you emphasize that and you're balling on a budget. That's the move to use. But man, I feel like, yeah, I mean the Brewers can. I think the Brewers can compete with the Cubs on paper. But when they come in and take over the stadium, the Cubby Cubs, man, they continue to look good. Brewers fans, how do you feel about the team? Because if I was a Brewers fan, I'd be fucking sick and tired of that shit.
I feel like they've got Contreras, they've got Yelich, and then they've got some good players, but most people probably haven't heard of them. Like, I just think of Bryce. The only reason I know is Bryce Terang.
Yeah.
It's because he steals a bunch of bases. Good defense. But Milwaukee, the Brewers' social media makes fun videos of him stealing bases. I wouldn't have known him otherwise.
Yeah, well, you can hang your hat on that, Brewers fan. You have a good social media team.
Fun social media team. I love watching Bryce Terang teleport.
Yeah, Bryce Terang, he leads the league in hits this year. He leads the team in WAR. So I mean, I would not guess that Bryce Terang led the league in hits, but a dynamic player who's on the Brewers doesn't get a lot of shine. Brewers are famous for that. Not a lot of shine on the Brewers. Midwestern team, just blue collar team, love beers, not too fancy. We grind. I was thinking about today, I've never been to the Midwest in my life. I don't think. It's crazy. I don't think I've ever been.
You should go. Probably not during the winter, but try it out.
I'm a coastal.
See what it's like.
Is St. Louis the Midwest?
Yeah,
I've been there.
I think it depends what part. I mean, some parts you would call it the South, but yeah, never been to St. Louis, never been to Chicago, never been to Ohio, none of that. I need to go out to Minnesota, something. I went to the Twins Bar and Grill. That was a good time, but
Spanish accent?
nah, man, that was Midwestern.
Midwestern.
No.
Everybody knows that.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Jack.
Minnesota.
That's a
Never
Midwestern
been to
accent.
St. Louis, eh?
Yeah, you know how people in
That
St.
is
Louis
how they talk in Chicago.
Shout out to Chicago. Cubs go. Go, Cubs, go. Pete Crow Armstrong, what do you say? The blue hair star kid's going to win today. PCA, dude, he looks like a little kid out there. Not a little kid, but a young adult. Kind of like a fuck boy. But boy, is he balling out. 9 homers already for PCA. But speaking of the Brewers guys they traded, Corbin Burns, who I guess the Brewers traded him at the right time because Corbin Burns just went on the IL, which is tough. Anytime someone goes on the IL, it's tough. But I've been seeing a lot of stats that he's had some regression. Do you have those stats in here, Mitch? Or?
So, yeah, from 2021 until 2024, he was the second best pitcher in baseball by WAR.
Yeah, he's finished 8th or higher in Cy Young voting the last 4 years.
He also has the 4th most innings pitched. So this guy, he was the reliable star pitcher. He got a massive contract that was probably deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Got a bigger contract per year than Max Fried, who looks like he could be the front runner for the Cy Young in the AL.
Hate to see that, but love to see that. Former Brave. Did we freeze? What happened?
No. I just said I pretend I don't see Max Fried's stat
Oh, okay.
line. It's too much
He
pain.
said it off mic because it was too shady.
Yeah, dude.
There's
you're
too much
talking off
pain.
mic. He's doing whispering.
Too much pain.
You gotta pay
I see
extra.
Max Fried dominate, and it just hurts.
Well, I mean, I guess you can. Do you feel happy when Corbin Burns struggles under that logic? I mean,
No, I mean, Max Fried pitched for the Braves for 8 years. Corbin Burn has probably pitched against the Braves like 5 times.
yeah, he's not really a Braves killer. Well, you can see his numbers have been I mean, he used to strike out 12.6 batters per game, 13.3 batters a game in 2020, 12.6 in 2021. This year so far, only 7.7. So his K per nine has been cut in half, and now he's injured, which has got to concern you if you're the Diamondbacks. Because, I mean, the Diamondbacks, listen, we love the Diamondbacks. We were talking about how good they were going into the season. The truth of the matter is, though, like, you're going to have to be really good in that division to stick around, because everyone knows the big bad Dodgers, who just won 7 in a row before losing to the mighty Braves, are going to be the big bad Dodgers. No matter how many pitchers get injured, it doesn't fucking matter. Okay, the Padres. They're the Padres. They've won 5 in a row. They're hot again. Tatis is probably going to win MVP if Ohtani doesn't pitch. If Ohtani pitches, he's got a chance. But right now, I'd give it to Tatis in the National League. The Padres are looking good. Now you got the Giants, who all of a sudden are a good fucking team. And if history repeats itself, yeah, you didn't expect the Giants to be good, but we've seen them be good and not expect them to be good a bunch of times. At least in 2021, we really saw that. So those are like 3 really legit teams, at least 2.5 really legit teams. And the Diamondbacks, who are 18-16, a lot of teams wish they're 18-16. They're in 4th fucking place, Mitch. And they just lost their top starter, who they just signed to what deal?
He signed a 6-year, $210 million deal, and he fell into the Diamondbacks' lap. I think if you were to look at all the predictions going into the offseason, no one had Corbin Burns signing with the Diamondbacks, but he called them and said, hey, I kind of want to pitch close to home.
That's what you get for...
Can we work out a deal?
He's a family guy. His family lives in Arizona. He wants to be close to the wife and kids. And like, to me, and I've said 100 times, that's a red flag. If you got a player who loves his family too much, it's not good for on-the-field performance. So what? You give a guy $180 million and he's putting his family first? Like, you got to be smarter than that, I think, as a franchise. Now, I'm sure he got a good deal with the Diamondbacks, but right now it's not looking like a good deal. Corbin Burns, I mean, I'm wishing him the best. But dude, anytime someone likes his family, it's a red flag for me.
I wish that logic had worked when Freeman went back to LA.
Yeah. Freddie Freeman is the one guy who doesn't fall in it. That guy loves his family more than God itself. Like, Freddie Freeman loves his family more than anything. Somehow he's still good. It's unbelievable. And it just adds to the lore of Freddie Freeman.
He gets to be an hour away from his dad. By Joey's logic, that should ruin his career, but now he's just even better.
Freddie Freeman defies the odds. I don't understand Freddie Freeman. We'll tip our caps to Freddie Freeman, but anyone else with a family, you know what happens after that. I mean, Shohei struggled. It took him like 2 weeks to get a home run after he had a kid. I wouldn't like Shohei to fall down to that path, but I think it's possible. But going through the other starters, I mean, the Diamondbacks have really had a hot start to the season based on their hitting. Right? That was the big takeaway. Right now, they're 8th in runs. Their hitting recently has really cooled off. Corbin Carroll has cooled off a little bit.
I think if we recorded this last week and we were talking about Corbin Carroll, we'd be talking about like, man, this guy, he's going to win MVP. But over the last like 2 weeks, I think he's been average, just average as a hitter. And he's still going to play good defense, even though he doesn't have an arm, and run the base as well. But a league average hitter with decent defense and great base running doesn't win you MVP.
Yeah. And I don't want to sound too negative about the Diamondbacks. They've played well all season. They've kind of just slowed down the past week or so. Like the past week, he's ranked 373rd in baseball. That's Corbin Carroll. That's the MVP. Ketel Marte, he's in the 300s too. Pavin Smith, he's in the 300s. Josh Naylor, 137. Eugenio Suarez, who has, like 12 home runs?
4 of the 5 of his homers in the last 2 weeks came in one game.
Yeah. So, but he's been hitting a lot of fucking bombs. He's been amazing. But the past 7 days, he ranks 291 amongst all players. So, like, the top 6 of the people in the lineup have slowed down, which you didn't think would be a problem with them because their starting staff going into the season looked amazing. But Zach Gallen, maybe not the Zach Gallen of old. Merrill Kelly, he's 36. He's got an ERA over 4. Eduardo Rodriguez, who was really, I think, the X factor going in the season because you didn't know what you're going to get, had an amazing year with Detroit, signed a big contract with the Diamondbacks, then got hurt last year and didn't really get to show what he had. He's had a tough start to the year.
Brandon Pfaadt's kind of been their best pitcher, and I think going into the year, he signed this extension. It was like $45 million. It wasn't a big extension. And even at that, I was like, why are the Diamondbacks giving this guy guaranteed money? He's like a very wild arm. He doesn't throw very hard. He just gets outs. But like the peripherals don't look that great. But right now he's the guy.
Yeah, the Pfaadt bot, who I love. I don't like to hear that the peripherals aren't great because he has been the best pitcher on their staff and he's been amazing. I wouldn't say amazing.
He's been good.
He's been good. You know who's been amazing for them? This is going to blow your mind. Shelby Miller.
Well, he did blow it today.
He blew it today? Fuck! That was his first run he gave up all year. So Shelby Miller. This is one of my favorite stats to look up every year is like what relief pitchers go the longest without giving up a run. Because you'll go into like June and some guy just still hasn't given up a run yet. And you're like, holy fuck. And it's usually a guy you've never heard of. But Shelby Miller is on the short list of guys. So right now, qualified relievers, there's 6 on this list. I can tell you right now, Yunier Cano gave up runs today, so he's off the list. And Shelby Miller gave up runs today, allegedly, according to Mitchell. Do we really trust him? I mean, I haven't seen him give up a run, so does it count? If a bear shits in the woods and no one's there to smell it, did the tree break?
Congratulations, Shelby Miller. Your ERA is now 0.
The bear shits in the woods and no one's there to smell it. Did the tree actually fall? Did Shelby Miller actually give up a run today? I'm going to say no. So Shelby Miller, 13 innings, 13 appearances without giving up a fucking run. And this is the guy who the Braves traded for, what, in 2012?
2014, at the end of 2014.
Still kicking it, dude. Love Shelby Miller. Doesn't get talked about enough.
There have been 2 guys in the last 8 years who have pitched 20 innings or more over a full season and didn't allow a run. And I doubt you've heard of either one of them.
Who?
Tyler Olson for the Cleveland Indians and JP Fireeisen for the Tampa Bay Rays.
I remember the Fireeisen because Fireeisen was the guy who had like a 0 ERA the whole year because he got hurt or something, and it was like wild. And then he was hurt, and it was like, damn, this is like the best reliever in the league, but he hasn't pitched in forever. Where's Fireeisen? And I believe he was on the Rays, and then the Dodgers picked him up. He's an analytics dude.
Oh, he's on the Diamondbacks.
Ooh.
Or,
They're going to need him because guess
no, he's
what?
on the Dodgers again. He pitched 2 games for the D-backs, and then they released him, I guess.
Watch out for the Fireeisen. I mean, a name like that, you know he's going to be fire. Justin Martinez been lights out, but he's on the IL. That's fucked. That's a 60-dayer? Oh, that's Puke.
That's
Puke. AJ Puke, I was never high at.
Is it Puck?
I don't
Puke?
care,
It
dude.
can't be puke.
It's AJ Puke, dude. Look at him. He's nasty. He's got nasty shit, Jack. It makes you want to puke when AJ Puke pitches. He's one of those guys, when you hear AJ Puke, you don't necessarily think this is a great reliever. But let me tell you something. I used to think that too. Then I saw him in real life when I went to spring training, and this guy's a giant. And he's lengthy and he's weird physique-wise, where I know he's sick at pitching just based on how he looks in person.
Tall, weird lefty. You're going to be great.
Yeah.
You're born to be great.
Yeah, so like you see these guys on TV, you don't get it, and then you see them in real life, you're like, oh, yeah, I can't imagine trying to face a 6'9", skinny, fat, fucking 260-pound lefty throwing from a fucking 13-degree arm angle, nasty sweepers in your mom's mouth. It's tough to make contact. Soundboard's on.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, Diamondbacks. I'm not out on the Diamondbacks, but it's just crazy to think in this division. They're 4-6 over their last 10, which isn't bad. I mean, it's not great, but everyone's gonna go 4-6 over 10 in this division, or at least early on. Like that's almost like a fucking nail in the coffin. But moving on to a division that's a lot more easier is the frickin' AL Central, which may be the mid of all mid. No, it's not. I mean, the NL Central is the mid division. The AL Central, though, with the Royals, who Mitchell, kind of pooped on last time.
I mean, I stand by it.
You stand by you think they're frauds?
I think today kind of hurt my argument, but going into today, they had the least amount of homers in baseball. They basically hit a third of their homers today.
That's funny. Yeah, they ranked 30th going in today in home runs, dead last. Do you know what they're at right now?
I didn't check.
Yeah. But they had, how many home runs did they hit today?
They hit 7 homers. They came into the game with 18 for the season.
They essentially doubled their home run, not doubled, but hit 50% of their home runs in one game. And guess who they were playing against?
Who were they playing against?
The Baltimore Orioles. Big shocker that the Baltimore Orioles gave up a lot of home runs. God damn, Orioles fans, I know I shit on the guys a lot, but it's coming from a place of love, I really love the Orioles. I like the Orioles being good. And the guys they're throwing out now, it's just tough to watch. I mean, I was watching today. It was a back and forth game. Jackson Holiday hit 2 bombs today. And Jackson Holiday, don't look now, his OPS plus is over 100. He's over a league average hitter. He's gotten hot, and that's good to see. O'Hearn hit one. I think the Orioles hit at least 5 home runs today. It was just the ball was flying in
There
Baltimore.
were 11 combined homers today. 10 of them were solo shots.
Yeah. So it was back and forth home runs, and the Orioles kept coming back, and then their pitcher, whoever they put in next, was giving it up. I mean, they had Charlie Morton coming out of the bullpen today, and you can go ahead and guess how that worked out. It wasn't great. I think he gave up 3 runs in 1 inning. And I don't remember who started for the Orioles. Tomoyuki started yesterday, and they lost, but he kept his ERA good. At least they have one decent pitcher. But yeah, it sucks if you're an Orioles fan. If you're a Royals fan, it's a lot better. I mean, they're 8-2 over their last 10. They've battled back. You know who got hot for them? Pasquantino. Pasquantino hit one today too.
Waiting for him to get hot.
Yep, we've been waiting for Pasquantini, and Pasquantini has arrived. He's delivered. Michael Garcia hit another one today. That's another guy. If these guys in the lineup can hit well, then I'm giving the Royals a shot to overtake the Tigers. But 8-2 over their last 10 games. Swept Colorado. Took 2 out of 3 out of Houston. They swept Jack's Rays, man. Cry about it, Jack. It's too easy going against the Florida teams. And 2 out of 3 out of the Orioles. What's their X factor, Mitch? Because you said you were still low on them. Why is that?
I just feel like if you look at the team, the pitching's fine. The starting ERA was a lot better than I thought going into the research today. Second in starting ERA, 7th in bullpen ERA, a lot better than I would have expected. But I just look at these names in their lineup. I see Bobby Witt Jr. I'm like, great, fantastic.
Yeah.
I see Michael Garcia, who was not good last year. And I'm like, do I believe this?
But he's an Acuna. He's from the Acuna clan.
Right.
Anyone from the Acuna clan is a baller. We know that.
So I have to be skeptical. Okay, he was bad last year, but he is an Acuna.
He comes from that one fishing village in Venezuela, which has a population of 800 people, but have 30 major leaguers, and they're all related.
You know how Curacao has an absurd amount of MLB players to come to that? I think that one area of Venezuela trumps that.
100%. Dude, it's like one baseball field. This village has one baseball field. And if you go there, if you go there right now, I bet there's just some of the best baseball talent you'll ever see in your life just taking live at-bats against each other.
Why do you think that is?
Something in the water. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's it comes down to one family because it's Acuna's on his mom and his dad's side both have major leaguers in it. And you know how small towns are. Everyone's related. And they're really fucking good at baseball. They probably have good genes and really fucking strong. And what do they do all day? Play fucking baseball all day. Work hard, play hard, baby. So Michael Garcia. I think it really is going to come down to the pitching for them.
I've watched the Tigers a little more than I have in past years, and they're just crazy good. I really believe that the Tigers are a legitimately good team.
I agree.
I don't know if you can catch that.
Yeah. And it's going to be tough to get a wild card spot, maybe. And I don't know, the AL is so much weaker than the NL, though. So maybe we can get 2 Central teams.
The Central had 3 teams last year, and not the Twins. So I think if you had predicted in 2024 that the AL Central would have 3 teams in the playoffs and not include the Twins, people would have thought you were crazy. But after last year, I'm like, anything goes.
Yeah, it's way too early to speculate on who's going to win what division or whatnot. It's good to see that Bubic is doing amazing for him. 1.2 WAR, ERA under 2. I mean, that's how they won it last year, dude. They had 2 pitchers, came out of nowhere, and were like top pitchers in the league, like top 5 in Cy Young both. And Seth Lugo's followed it up with a great year. Cole Reagans has not, but his peripherals look good, so I'm not too worried about Cole Reagans. But if Cole Reagans, Seth Lugo, and Seth Lugo, I didn't realize, has 9 pitches. You see Seth Lugo's like baseball savant page?
Yeah, no. I know him for that sweeping curveball that he threw a lot with the Mets, but ever since he started starting, it's just been a story that, like, he has every single pitch that you can imagine, and he throws every single one of them.
Every single one of them. I think his most used pitch is a fastball, and he throws it like 24% of the time. So, like, you're sitting fastball, you're only seeing it 1/4 of the time. And he's got how many pitches? 9? I mean, I
So
can't.
I have it his chart here on Baseball Savant. He has a fastball, a cutter, a sinker. Wait, what is
1, 2, 3, 4, 8. He has 10 pitches.
a slurve, a
All
changeup,
right,
a
he's
slider?
got a 4-seamer, curveball,
splitter.
sinker, cutter, slurve, changeup, slow curve. He's got a curve and a slow curve.
What is a ST? He has pitches I've never even heard of before.
He's got a slider and a sweeper. He's got a curve, a slurve, and a slow curve, a slider and a sweeper, not to mention a split finger. And don't forget about the changeup, Mitch.
Can't forget about the change.
I mean,
this is kind of crazy. And he only throws his sweeper 2.1% of the time, but like that's still a lot of pitches to get in 2.1% of the time.
Yeah. He's got 3 different types of fastballs, according to Savant: 4-seamer, sinker, and a cutter. So goddamn Seth Lugo, I can't imagine him coming out of the bullpen with 9 pitches. You're throwing like 10 pitches.
I gotta see what he was throwing with the Mets, because there's no way you can get all of these in
right?
an inning.
You're throwing 20, like
He's
on
just going
average,
out,
17
coming out.
pitches a game, and they're all just different pitches.
And he's just cycling through. So it's like he goes one by one, and then he just resets every time.
So you know what? I'm back on the Royals just because of Seth Lugo's fucking pitch repertoire. I mean, 10 pitches, that takes dedication. How do you even practice that?
Like, the secret is he has no pitch and he's just throwing the ball.
He's
just,
like, I'm going to grip this ball. I don't know what it's going to do.
However he picks it up is how he throws.
he's letting the wind take it, brother. Fuck it, dude. They'll never see it coming.
So up until 2023, he had 5 pitches, which is a lot for a reliever. And then in 2023, he breaks out 2 more pitches, the sweeper and the slurve. And then in 2024, he adds the splitter and I can't tell what else. And then this year, he's just added more pitches.
No, from 2022 to 2023, he doubled his pitches. Like, literally, like last year I had 5 pitches. Guess what? Yo, skipper, I got 10, dude. He's like, what? Yeah, I got 10 pitches. I did a lot of practicing this offseason. Watched a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of Pitching Ninja. Now I got 10 pitches, and it's worked out. So shout out to freaking Seth Lugo.
He found out he was going to be a starter, and he's like, how do I become a starter? Should I practice it, like, lengthening out my arm, like, pitching more innings? And he's like, no, I'm just going to learn more pitches.
Yeah. If you can't add velocity, just add another pitch. Fuck it. I love his Savant because his Savant looks pretty bad. I mean, it's a lot of blue. It's just all blue. And then there's just his 98th percentile is breaking run value. So his curveball is unhittable. It's a slow curve, it's a slurve, and a curve. He's got a curve, a slow curve, and a slurve. Good freaking luck. You know who can hit it, though? Speaking of the Tigers, you know who I bet hates facing Seth Lugo?
Javy Baez.
Javy Baez.
I'm going to look up how well he's done against him.
He's swinging out in pitches in freaking Puerto Rico, man. Javy Baez, and Javy Baez has got a lot of shit over the past few years. We've all seen the memes. Javy Baez sucks. He used to be good. The fall off needs to be studied. You know, all these freaking commenters talking crap about everything and everyone. And Javy Baez got a lot of that. But guess what? Javy Baez is fucking back. Javy Baez was one of the most electric players in baseball. Do you remember this, Mitchell?
Oh, I remember this.
We remember this, right? Javy Baez of the Chicago Cubs, the next great thing, the beast, one of the most electric players in baseball. Then he sucked dick 4 years, but now Javy Baez is back, baby. This guy was amazing for the Cubs. This guy finished second in MVP, won a Silver Slugger, a Gold Glove, a World Series, a World Baseball Classic, was on the cover of MLB The Show, made some of the sickest defensive plays you'll ever see. No one ever forgets when they saw that first clip once where he's at second base. Oh, go in! And the catcher throws it, and he points at the catcher before the ball even gets there. That's a level of swag you can never comprehend, all right? He's one of those guys. Remember, I feel like he was also the first guy that I can remember who got the MLB tattoo on the back of the neck.
I thought he was crazy for that,
Right?
and then he backed it up.
Dude, that is one of the coolest, the Latin guys. It's the Latin guys only who do this, but like, the MLB jerseys, they'll have the MLB logo right in the back of the neck where your collar is on the back. But these guys, and I think he got it like when he was like 17, right above it, basically putting it on your body. I will be in the major leagues, make the major leagues. I'm sure a lot of them get it once they make the major leagues, kind of just like a flex. I earned it. Like when you go to the Olympics, you'll get an Olympic tattoo. But yeah, he rocked that thing. I mean, this guy was a freaking a force to be reckoned with. He went to the Tigers. And that's where everything changed, Mitch. So we saw this guy, second in MVP, Silver Slugger, World Series champion, MLB The Show. Then you go to the Tigers, signs for $140 million. Within a year, this guy was getting booed in Detroit. At one point, he got benched. In 2023, he forgot how many outs there were and got thrown out, leading to another benching. I believe that was probably rock bottom for Javy Lopez when this happened.
I feel like at that time, it was rock bottom. But since then, it's not even close to one of the worst moments for him.
Yeah. What was the worst moment for him after this?
Watching the Tigers make the playoffs without him.
So it actually got worse. But he made like two base running mistakes in like, I want to say a game or two in one. No, it was one game.
It was the same inning.
Same inning. He made two base running mistakes.
He hits a ball. He thinks it's a homer, so he doesn't run right out of the box. And it's kind of like he did get the second. It's not a technical base running mistake, but he was really close to being out.
Mm.
And then like a few pitches later, a fly ball to center field, he forgets how many outs there are.
Yeah, he forgot how many outs there were, and he got benched for that shit. So yeah, his first two seasons in Detroit, this was the second worst hitter in baseball. All right? Everyone makes fun of him because he swings at everything. This guy has zero plate discipline. I don't know where he ranked. I think you put it in here earlier that was fourth worst chase rate. I want to say it was worse. But, I mean, this becomes a meme. Now, everyone knows Javy Baez swings at everything and misses and sucks. He struck out the Sister Jean's first pitch.
Is this real?
It's real, Jack. He struck out the Sister Jean, and he also struck out against 50 Cent, all right? This guy swung and missed at fucking everything. I mean, just comes like best player in baseball, like most electric player ever, and then he's just terrible for 3 years. And in 2024, The Athletic called his contract the worst. Okay, no, the Athletic called his contract in 2024 possibly the worst contract in the history of North American sports. And I'm going to go out there, that might be an exaggeration. But he's competing with like Anthony Rendon, Steven Strasburg. There's been some bad contracts, and there's some bad contracts right now. Chris Bryant, his former teammate, but they put Javy in front of all that.
In 2024, too, it's not like it was right when his contract started and like Chris Bryant was playing okay and maybe you thought Rendon's 2 or 3 years of injuries were a fluke. This was 2024. This was like 8 months ago, and he was like the worst contract in North American sports.
So less than a year ago, this guy has the worst contract in the history of North American sports, at least to some speculation made in The Athletic. Then he gets injured in 2024. And as soon as he gets injured, the Tigers go off. The Tigers were better without him, all right? They go on a run, somehow make the playoffs, upset the Astros without Javy Baez. And this is like their big free agent signing. Like he's the highest paid player on the Tigers to this day, for sure. Unless Scooble got like a bunch in arbitration or something. But in terms of contract, yeah, Javy Baez is probably the biggest contract the Tigers ever gave out other than Miguel Cabrera, I'm guessing. So this is your highest paid player on the team who gets hurt and the team gets better without him. So going into the season, there was questions on whether Baez would even be on the team. You know, are they going to drop him? What are they going to do with Baez? All these young Tigers players are looking great. What's Baez going to do? The team replaces him with a prospect at shortstop. So Trace Sweeney, you're our new shortstop. We're going to swallow the money. Let's just send Javy Baez to play center field. They put Javy Baez in the center field. Turns out Javy Baez is fucking amazing at center field. All right, here's him running like 200 feet earlier this week to rob a home run at the wall. He's got a 2.6 defensive WAR. That would make him the 5th best defensive center fielder in baseball, but he's also playing shortstop and third. Great defensive metrics in both. He really is a great defender, and I think he's stayed. And one year he had a negative WAR at shortstop.
Yeah, but he was injured all the time.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, he swings at anything, strikes out, had a terrible batting, but he has always been good at defense. However, now he's playing center field, sick at center field. He's also going off at the plate. All right. Javy Baez homered in 3 straight games. If the season ended today, it would be his best OPS plus of his career. He's been the 10th most valuable player in the American League, and he's only had 95 plate appearances. So Javy Baez, if this keeps up, is like completely fucking back. And what does that mean for the Tigers? I mean, we were glazing the Tigers, but we weren't even factoring Javy Baez at all. Like, that didn't even go into the equation.
He's like he would have been the 20th guy I'd mentioned. I'd have to find out who the bullpen members are because I can never remember their names. And then I would get to Baez and be like, he plays really good defense. He can play good defense at third, short. They're trying him out in center. Maybe this is going to work out. But like offensively, never would have even popped into my head.
Yeah, right? Because that's what when you put him in center field, it's like, all right, man, like you're still giving us some value defensively. So like you'll be a platoon guy. Like you won't hit a ton, but you can play defense and get starts that way. He's second in the team in WAR right now, right behind Scooble. He's their second most valuable player. And he hasn't been playing every day. Where's he at? How many games has he played this year?
So I just looked up like plate appearance leaders. He's at 95. For example, a guy like Ohtani, he's missed a couple games because he went on the paternity list. He has 144. So he's 50 plate appearances back from guys who are qualified hitters.
Yeah.
And he's still 10th in WAR. That's insane.
Yeah. Amazing start to the season for Javy. I think for Javy, I've always speculated that he's a guy who just, if you put him on a team that sucks, he's going to suck. Like he feeds off the intensity of the game, clutch moments. He's always been good in clutch moments. He was sick of the WBC. He was sick for the Cubs when they were good. And as soon as the Cubs got bad, he sucked for the Cubs. And then they traded him to the Mets, and he did well for the Mets when he played for the Mets for like half the season when they were competing. Goes to the Tigers, and they suck ass. He sucks ass. Now the Tigers are good again. Now you're seeing him do good again. So, I mean, that seems like some pseudoscience. I know that you analytics dorks are like, there's no correlation between clutchness doesn't exist. What are you going to say, Mitch? Clutchness doesn't exist?
No, I'm actually going to say I think he was injured for a lot of this time. His first like week as a Tiger went very well. He had a walk-off in his first game as a Tiger. He was hitting like over 300, 5-game sample, I know. But then he hurts his thumb. He misses like a couple of weeks. He comes back, and after that, he was terrible. He gets benched several times. He has to like reset. At one point in like July, he's hitting 190. And then at the end of the season, he comes back and he plays okay. And then last year, he had a back injury.
Back hurts.
There was another injury before his hip knocked him out, where he came back from that injury and he wasn't playing well. And I think even at the end of his season last year, he was just trying to get back so he could have that game at Wrigley so he could play again. He went on the IL 2 days later after.
Oh, he came back just to get the revenge game.
So I think he was trying to tough it out. He really wanted to get to that game where he could have his return at Wrigley.
Yeah,
standing
ovation.
And then at a point he was like, okay, I actually can't do this anymore.
Because, I mean, he is a very similar story to Chris Bryant. I mean, two guys in the same team came up, like two of the hottest players in the league. I mean, we said talking about Chris Bryant that he was the face of the Cubs. I would say Javy Baez was probably the face of the Cubs. I mean, it was a bunch of guys with the Cubs. It was never
you
always
could argue
one
like
player.
Rizzo, Bryant, and Baez.
But
those were the 3 core guys.
And Baez was out of the 3 the most marketable for sure. He was the guy on the cover of the show. I think Chris Bryant was he on it too? I don't know, but like the no look tags, all that El Majo. But unlike Chris Bryant, got hurt a lot, sucked for fucking 3 years, thought he was done, but now we're looking like he could be back, man. And I'm happy to see that. Another note for the Tigers. Riley Green homers twice in an inning, becomes the first Tiger to do that since Maglia Ordonez in 2007 when he hit 2 off Dallas Braden. So, wow, that's how bad Dallas Braden is at pitching. He gave up 2 home runs in 1 inning.
I think you should call up Dallas and just say, "Hey, did you know this about you?
Yeah, live.
2 home runs in one inning. That sucks, man."
Yeah. Riley Green hit, hey, Dallas. Riley Green homered twice in an inning. Do you know the last Tiger to do that? He would tell you in a second. I've heard him talk about that multiple times. Magnio, own DB, which is not a lot of guys own DB, man. Crafty 2-seamer, perfect game winner. He's only 40. DB could get back in there. I still stand by that. I believe in him more than he believes in himself. I tell him all the time. I say, DB, I call him on the phone. I say, brother, you gotta stretch out the arm, man. The Athletics needs you. Sacramento needs you, man. You don't need to be in the booth. You need to be on the bump.
Just show up in the Jim Moore story and be like, "That can be you."
But it's fucked, dude. They drug test in MLB. You won't do it. He's too much of a drug addict. Tell him to quit. AA, everything. Dallas Braden, he won't listen, dude. He's a fucking maniac. He's just addicted to drugs.
Maintaining my strength and my stamina during the whole year.
See, you're starting to like it.
That is Jose Canseco, for everyone wondering, who did no drugs and was set up and is a good person on and off the field. Speaking of good people on and off the field, Mike Trout. Speaking of guys who get injured a lot, Mike Trout. Speaking of guys who have a prescription for HGH and MLB turns cheek and lets him do steroids his whole career, Mike Trout, according to Gary Sheffield's son. Is it true? We don't know. We'll dig into that deeper for next episode. For the time being, though, I don't think Mike Trout's on HGH. I think if he was doing that many HGH, he wouldn't get as hurt as much as he does. Okay, so Mike Trout, who started the season, has had a crazy season where he's hit like 10 homers. He's hit 9 home runs, but still has been bad somehow because all he does is hit home runs now. Which, not to brag, I completely predicted that this was the new Mike Trout era where it's no defense, no running, focus on your power. That's where the value is going to be coming. And it worked and it didn't work because he hit 9 home runs, was leading the league a little bit or close to it. Still, everything else wasn't great. 103 OPS plus, about a league average hitter. Comes up limping, man, and it looks like it could be another injury for Mike Trout. Is it on the same knee?
Same knee. He had 2 surgeries on this knee, different occasions. Same knee.
Yeah. So, give me the stats on the Mike Trout injuries, Mitch. How bad has it really been?
Just overall?
Yeah.
I mean, he's missed 60% of Angels games since 2021.
Jeez Louise. So, they moved him to right to stay healthy. I mean, they're saying right now that it's not a big deal. I mean, what's the official word?
That was last year, too. Do you remember last year? He's coming back after a couple months. He's done rehab.
Yeah.
He's almost back, guys. Actually, he's done for the year.
It's like that every time Mike Trout gets hurt, especially with Ohtani. It was like that, especially remember when Ohtani was going to leave and Mike Trout was like rushing, trying to get back. They're like, oh, it's just a slight injury. I don't remember what the actual injury was, but an injury that you thought was going to be a couple weeks turns out to be a few months.
Didn't he play like 3 games and
came back,
went right back?
Played like 1 or 2 games. Then Ohtani got hurt, and they're like, brother, there's no reason to do this. We're done. And then he missed the rest of the year. So Mike Trout, we're at a crossroads right now. I'm not done with Mike Trout. I still love Mike Trout, and you don't have to not love Mike Trout to think he's completely washed, but I still think he has enough in his tank. I think his Trumbo era can be sick, and he can just hit a lot of home runs and not run a lot, and I think it will be good. If he misses 2 weeks, he come back, and he can be better than he left, and if you believe what the Angels are saying, that it's just a minor injury, and he's coming back after a 10-day IL stint, then we're fine. 10-day IL, that's nothing, Mitch. That's a week and a half of games. He's old. He needs the rest anyway.
I feel like if it was any other team, I would just be like, oh yeah, Mike Trout, he'll come back. But like, I think last year for sure, 2023 too, I'm just like, yeah, he's done for the year. I'm already like mentally there. He's done for the year. He's probably going to come back in 10 days, but like in my head, he's done for the year.
Yeah, so I don't want that because I do have a future on his home run, which was looking like the smartest bet ever. He hit like 25% of what he needed in the first week, and now his injury, which was like, okay. So he had 9 home runs and has a negative WAR. How the fuck does that happen? 9 home runs this early in the season.
They said, don't play defense, Mike Trout. And he said, okay, I'm just going to stand here.
He took it to heart. They're like, Mike, we don't want you running as much. He's like, all right, you got, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's walking to each ball. Yeah, his defensive metrics must not be great. And his batting average was not great either. Well, I mean,
14th percentile in outs above average. So,
not great.
yeah, no.
But he can still hit for power. He can still hit the ball hard. I think a Mike Trout can come back and be great. But if it's starting like this, I mean, that's the Angels. This whole team is just hitting home runs. And the Angels, who were exciting for a good 3 weeks, have lost. They're 2-8 out of the last 10. I think they lost like 7 in a row. Now they're 7 games back of the Mariners. Yeah, the Angels are a team that only hit. They're 6th in home runs, and that was them. And the Athletics are very similar in that way, where all they do is hit home runs. That's the one thing they're good at. Everything else, pitching. Even, I mean, they're 6th in home runs and last in on base percentage, last in average. Mike Trout is a microcosm of the Los Angeles Angels to a T. They hit a fuck ton of home runs, but they can't field, and they can't hit anything else. They're 28th in average, 25th in OPS, and 6th in home runs, 27th in steals. God, Ron Washington, come home, dude. You don't need to be with these losers. Please. Come home, Ron Washington. The Angels are a burning ship. But there's other teams in that division doing well. The Rangers, who have lost. Who are doing almost just as bad. 3-7 out of the last 10. The TeTas hat giveaway. You know what? Let's just give it away now. I went through these comments. There's a lot of great comments who wanted the TeTas hat. Some guy said he was from Germany, wanted the TeTas hat. Let me tell you, brother, that eliminated you immediately. We're not paying $50 fucking to send this hat off. I love Germany, love everything about you guys, love you as a fan. Man, that's a lot of shipping. But Eduardo Silva, this guy says, okay. Oh, yeah, this guy. This is the who I want to give it to. 2 biggest loves of his life, Tits and the Rangers. If you love Tits and you love the Rangers, this is a hat for you. So Eduardo Livas 5027 says he wants to get it, take a pic in it, and give it away to a follower on a Rangers fan page. I would love this hat to be the Brotherhood of the Traveling Boobs hat. So we're giving it to you. We need that picture, though, and we need you sending it off to another fan.
Are you going to sign the hat, Joey?
No, I'm not going to sign that.
You got to sign the inside of it so everyone knows where. And at the end of this traveling hat thing, it's got like 100 autographs in it.
I'm signing the fucking hat, brother.
Wherever it ends up, that person, they should send us a picture in the hat as well.
Yes.
You know?
This is going to be the Brotherhood of the Traveling Boob hat. We're giving it to a lucky Rangers fan. And they could use it, man, because the Rangers have not been hot, man. The Rangers have been mid at best. They just fired their offensive coordinator. Mitchell, what the fuck is an offensive coordinator? Is
saw
this
that
football?
and I was like, am I reading the wrong sport? Is Bob Nightingale at it again?
Here's the
This was actually a position.
Here's the strategy, guys. We're doing offensive coordination. We need a single, then a home run every time. So the Rangers, even with an offensive coordinator, have scored 3 or fewer runs in their last 22 games. What? They haven't scored more than 3 runs in 22 games.
There's no way I got that right.
Mitchell, tell me it's not true. 22 games?
15 out of the last 22 games.
Still, okay, well, that's still a lot. And this is a Rangers offense who a few years ago was like fucking lighting everything on fire. What happened to Adolis?
Well, the
bro?
Braves stole their hitting coach, so.
There we go. It all comes, the most important position in baseball, the hitting coach. And now the Atlanta Braves. And Adolis Garcia wants him back. Adolis Garcia, what happened, man? This guy was hitting his bombs away. Not hitting that many bombs, only 4 bombs, 83 OPS plus. Jock Peterson has gotten a lot better. He's got his OPS plus up to a 4.
Well, then he had an 0 for something day, so it might go back down to like 1.
Jock Peterson has a negative 1.2 WAR, bro, in 28.
He's not a qualified player either, so he's speed running this.
That is, I mean, I don't think that's happened in baseball history. Negative 1.3 WAR in the first month. And the season's 6 months, right? So 1.3 times 6, Mitch. What do you got on that? That's a 7.8. So if he played this whole season like this, it would be a negative 7.8 season, which I can tell you right now would be the worst WAR of all time.
I think the worst WAR of all time was negative 4 something.
Yeah, and that was before war was invented, so you can't even count.
They didn't
that.
know. They didn't know better.
Yeah, like some guy in 1839.
No, he was a Braves player in the 70s.
Okay, of course he was on the Braves. Yeah. So Jock Peterson, hopefully he'll get better, but not doing good so far. Batting under 100. Even they sent down Jake Berger, dude. Jake Berger got demoted. I mean, that's the guy who last year was a fucking force to be reckoned with. No one knew it because he was on the Marlins, but Jake Berger was I wouldn't say big, but a free agent acquisition, right? I mean, they traded for him.
I didn't realize that he could be sent down. That kind of took me by surprise. But I think it comes down to marketing. Does Jake Berger have a burger? Because the White Sox did not market him. He goes to Miami, they market him.
You say, does he have a burger?
No, the Marlins like ran a burger promotion for.
You
Jake
should
Berger.
know that, Jack. How do you not
Come
know?
on, Marlins fan.
You didn't know that Jake Berger had his own burger?
Dollar burger night, bro. Who's eating multiple burgers, dude?
I think they had like a Burger King sponsorship, but I haven't seen anything about the Rangers having a burger sponsorship.
And that's
I think it really wore down on his morale.
I mean, for real. You go to Texas, you think, oh, Jake Berger. I mean, people in Texas love burgers. They love a fat white dude named Jake Berger.
And the
That's perfect
Rangers
for
have
Texas.
like some of the craziest food I've seen. It just looks like this massive barbecue platter that looks like it's like 5 pounds.
It fell into their lap, Mitch, and they didn't make the Jake Berger burger. What are you gonna? They sent him down to fucking Toledo or wherever the hell he is. Jake Berger goes down. I mean, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna act like Jake Berger was a massive offseason acquisition, but for the Rangers, that was a guy who they thought was going to be good for the lineup, and they've had a terrible lineup. And they got Corey Seager, who's hit well. He's like the one guy who's hit well. Wyatt Langford, and Corey Seager. Throwing in Jonah Heim. But other than that, Simeon too. So Marcus Simeon, Jake Berger, and Jock Peterson all have negative WARs in that lineup. And there you go. So you want to know why the Rangers aren't doing well? It's because of that. Molly, who we have not brought up. Tyler Molly is like the best pitcher in baseball right now. This guy who's on the Rangers, who was a guy who was on the Reds when I knew him. He led the league in games started in 2021 and had a 4.9 WAR season with the Reds. So it was a great season, and he was a young pitcher. So there was a little bit of buzz over Molly. Since then, everyone's forgot about him, but now he's on the Rangers, and he's been lights out for the Rangers. 1.19 ERA. I don't know if he qualifies, but he's yet to give up a home run this year. And that's got to be like the lowest ERA in the league if he qualified, right? Close to it. 1.19.
No, I think someone still has an ERA under 1.
What Senga does, maybe. Either way, I mean, Tyler Molly's been amazing.
No, it's Yoshinobu.
Oh yeah, he dicked the Braves down. He had to
I think that's the one game a year where I just was like, yeah, of course. Like I'm fine with this. It's Yoshinobu.
Yeah. Grant Holmes did well too, but not as well as Yoshinobu. But yeah, Eovaldi's been amazing for the Rangers. DeGrom, 2.73 ERA. Even with that lower velocity, he's been pitching great. Patrick Corbin's even done great. They got Patrick Corbin as a 5th starter. You thought, holy shit, I mean, we're in trouble. We got to rely on Patrick Corbin. Maybe it's not our year. Patrick Corbin, 3.28 ERA. Everyone who's pitched for them, other than Kumar Rocker, has been great. And Jack Leiter, who's only made 4 starts and tailed off a little bit. But Patrick Corbin, Jacob deGrom, Tyler Molly, and Eovaldi all been fucking amazing.
So Corbin, ever since he got bit by that spider, has not allowed more than 2 runs in a game.
Come on, dude. Spider-Man. It's not about the Mets. It's about Spider-Man. It's about Patrick Corbin. But damn, Rangers, what happened? I still think the Rangers are going to be good enough. I mean, they fired the offensive coordinator. I think that's going to wake them up.
I still can't believe that's a real role. I've been sitting with that for like, 5-6 hours now. I'm like, that's not a real position.
Yeah, they're like, Jake Berger, this is what you
offensive coordinator in baseball.
Just a clip where that says swing batter.
Do you think he wore a headset and he was like up in the front office calling the plays?
Yeah, run a go route, Jake Berger, you fat fuck. That was rude. Maybe that's the problem.
It's like a real life Ted Lasso situation.
I never saw that show, so don't reference that. God,
Joey
damn
doesn't
it.
like if you like watch something without him.
You watching that without me, Jack?
Come over, bro.
I thought we were gonna. Whatever. Rangers. This is an interesting division, man. The West. You know, I'm an East Coast guy. I don't meddle in things that aren't my business. West Coast, I stay away. Right? I'm an East Coast guy. The West Coast, none of my business. But you look at it now. You got the Seattle Mariners at the top, and the Seattle Mariners, and we talked this before. The Seattle Mariners have the opposite issue with the Rangers. I mean, the Rangers and the Mariners are complete opposite teams. Going into the season, you thought the Rangers. Beast offense. They have amazing. They just got Jock Peterson and Jake Berger on top of Simeon, Corey Seager, and Adolis. They're going to hit bombs away. Not too sure about their pitching. Guess what? Their pitching's been amazing. Their hitter's been sick. Hitter's been shit. When the Mariners, Mariners, best rotation ever. They got everybody. Actually, Mariners haven't been that great at pitching. It's been their lineup. The fucking big ass guy, Big Dumper, has like 13 home runs now with the torpedo bat, by the way. They think the power's in the ass. Big Dumper, it ain't in the ass. It's in the torpedo bat. He leads the league in homers with 13. The Mariners are on the top of the division. Underneath them, though, is a team that nobody talks about because they're a team without a city, and that's the Athletics. I was about to call them Oakland. I'm sorry. That's disrespectful. You can't call them the Oakland Athletics. You call me, that's basically, that's dead naming. You know,
The first time you haven't called them the Oakland Athletics.
I don't call them the Oakland Athletics, dude. I call them the Athletics. It's disrespectful to call them Oakland, and it's very disrespectful to call them Sacramento.
Jack, I think you're gonna have some extra editing to do in about 5 minutes.
He's gonna lose.
I'm not going to call them that. Do I call them the Redskins still? No. Because it's fucking bullshit. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. If you call them the Oakland Athletics,
Sorry, dude.
it's disrespectful to Oaklanders and Sacramentoans alike and Las Vegas residents alike. You'd think a team with 3 markets, we are selling out. We got Oakland, we got Sacramento, and we got Las Vegas. You'd think they have a good attendance. No, their attendance has actually gotten worse since moving from Oakland. That's a story for a different day, right? Everyone knows the Athletics behind the scenes, the organization is ran like shit and it's a dumpster fire. And it's sad to watch. But on the field, the Athletics have quietly become competitive. I mean, the Athletics, like I said, they're like the Angels where they only hit home runs. Now, their offense has been good. They're not just home runs. They're 5th in the league in home runs. That helps. They got the soda stream. Brent Rooker's been amazing. Most underrated player in baseball, I think. Who else other than the soda stream has been fire for the Athletics?
I know Langoliers is like just a boom or bust kind of guy. He has 6
Bangoliers.
homers. Rooker got off to a slow start. You already said him. And then, Jacob Wilson doesn't hit homers. Doesn't not hit the ball, though. He only hits the ball. He doesn't strike out. He doesn't walk. His walk rate is 3.8. His strikeout rate is 4.6. He has a 132 WRC plus. He's hitting 328.
Yeah, so when you're naming like who's like the top guys in the lineup, and you go, oh, Tyler Soderstrom's pretty good, Jacob Wilson and JJ Baez having a good year. Well, don't forget about Shane Langoliers. You don't think they're going to be that good, you know? Shea Bangolier, SodaStream, Jacob Wilson, and JJ Baez have combined to be 7th in the league in average, 9th in OPS, and 5th in home runs. So the Athletics, despite being terrible at pitching and being 25th in ERA and 24th in relief ERA, 25th in starters ERA, 22nd in relief ERA, the pitchers are not helping the cause. But right now, the Athletics, who have gotten hot, I got it right here, actually. Thank God I take notes, because I'm an idiot. The Athletics have the 3rd best record in baseball since April 14th, thank you. They are 12-6. And they had this game against the Marlins. And this goes back. I teased you at the beginning, and everyone stayed to hear what I had to say about Kyle Stowers. Now we're coming back. Aren't you glad you stayed the whole pod? Kyle Stowers, Orioles lost him. He goes to Miami. So this game was on Saturday. And the Athletics were a game away from going 13-5. And being like a game back of the division, like they're on a hot streak. They're playing the Marlins in Miami. They're going in. They bring in Mason Miller to face the Marlins with a 2-run lead. That game you win 99% of the time. But let me tell you, this guy Mason Miller might be the most insane. Like what he's doing this year is unfucking believable. Mason Miller, okay. You heard of Mason Miller. This pitcher, he is absolutely unhittable. Mason Miller, can I say it again? Mason Miller is absolutely unhittable, all right? Unless somebody hits it, then it's fucking destroyed every single time. He has the fastest fastball in baseball. He struck out 50% of the batters he's faced. Nobody is harder to hit than Mason Miller. Based on whiff percentage, strikeout percentage, and chase percentage, he is number 1 in MLB. Yet he is the 6th worst closer in baseball based on ERA. And you might ask, how is that possible? Mitchell, I know you're a smart guy. You're a baseball guy. When you see a guy who has 99th percentile, 100 percentile in K rate, in whiff rate, and in whiff percentage, and in chase rate, you probably think he's probably like the best pitcher in the league.
I'm going like, if I see the ERA is over 1, I'm like, the system might be glitching.
It's like 100 percentile in Baseball Savant means there's nobody better than you. Yet he
He's
has
the guy in MLB The Show you turn up the sliders to 100 on.
he's throwing 104 miles per hour, brother. You can't hit him. Actually, you can. He's somehow given up 7 earned runs this year while allowing 8 hits. So he's allowed 8 hits this season. And he's given up 7 runs on 8 hits. He almost has the same amount of earned runs as hits. And you may be asking, how the fuck is that possible? Well, it's because he's given up home run every single time. 25% of the hits he's given up have been home runs, which is unfucking believable, all right? He comes in to get the save against the Marlins up by 2. Embarrasses the first guy with a nasty slider and a 103 mile per hour fastball. Unhittable. Strikes out the next guy on a unhittable, again, 103 mile per hour pitch. The Athletics have a 96% chance to win this game, right? I'll remind you what's happening right now. It's Mason fucking Miller, who's unhittable, against the Marlins, who can't fucking hit. Jack will tell you, all right? But gives up a hit, a wild pitch, and a walk. Now it comes down to Kyle Stowers, who somehow demolishes a 102 mile per hour fastball. Okay, and here's how rare this is. In the past decade, there's been over 2,000 102 plus mile per hour fastballs. 8 have been hit for home runs. So this ball had a 0.003% chance to be hit for a home run, and Stowers launches it for a walk-off grand slam.
When I saw that he'd blown the save, I was like, I must have hit his slider, right? No way would I have guessed 102 mile an hour fastball. And it wasn't even in the middle of the plate.
102 up in the zone. And Kyle Stowers just fucking knocks it for an opposite field blast. Kyle fucking Stowers. That was one of the most insane home runs you'll ever see. A walk-off grand slam on 102 up in the zone. So after this home run, Mason Miller has a 4.7. Mason Miller now has a 4.97 ERA while batters are hitting 178 against him. And that just goes to show you this game is not fucking fair. And you can add him to a list of players. Like, what's the list of relievers or closers last year who have been amazing and who suck now?
Clase,
who gave up more runs
Iglesias.
today. Iglesias.
Alexis Diaz got sent down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another Diaz. Both the Diaz brothers.
Both the Diaz brothers. Mason Miller's the one guy I'm like, okay, this is short sample. But like all the other guys, it's a rough time out
Devin
there.
Williams.
Duran?
Oh, is he doing bad? I haven't really checked.
Yeah.
Duran. If you want to count Bednar in that, would you count Bednar?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Bednar had a bad season last year.
I'm sorry, Duran has been very good.
Yeah. So I would not put Mason Miller in that category. This is a thing of a guy who's getting really unlucky, but holy shit, dude. I mean, in the history of baseball, since we've been able to track this shit, there's been 8 home runs on a pitch going 102 mile per hour or faster. 8.
If you would have just put me on the spot and said, how many homers do you think have been on 102 or faster? I probably would have said just the Stowers one. Like, that's unheard of.
Yeah, and then it's when, why don't guys just throw faster? Then people wonder, why are people so obsessed with velocity?
They just need to paint the corners, dude.
Yeah, it's really about location.
Greg Maddux won 20 Cy Youngs and he threw 83. Don't you know that? He dotted the corner.
Yeah, can you imagine if Greg Maddux threw 102?
I mean, he was throwing 95.
Oh, he was? I wasn't alive. I should know that, though. So baseball doesn't exist. The guy who makes his living on knowing baseball shit and is a Braves fan and goes on the
It's
internet.
okay. We haven't made a Maddox video yet.
For some reason, I thought Maddox was always like in the low 90s his whole career.
No, he could hit like 95, 96, I think. It was just his later career when the radar gun was more accurate, whereas he was in the upper 80s.
Yeah, the guy pitched fucking forever. Shout out to Greg Maddox. Need to get that out of the way. Don't want to be anti-Maddox. I'm pro Mason Miller too. But holy fucking shit, man. 2,000 plus pitches over 102. 8 have been home runs. And Mason Miller, you're on that list. I think that list includes, I have the list right here. They're all Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman is the only one. And it's not because Aroldis Chapman is bad. It's because he throws more 100-mile-per-hour fastballs than anyone in history. So Mason Miller, Aroldis Chapman, Ben Joyce, Jordan Hicks, and Joan Duran are the only pitchers in MLB history to give up a home run on a pitch going 102 mile per hour or faster. So Mason Miller, stick in there. Athletics, stick in there. You're on my radar now. Second place right now for the Athletics. A team without a city. 2 games back, 3 games over 500. They're above the Astros. They're above the Angels. And God, you know they're above the Rangers. So shout out to the A's. Great. Let's get to some questions, some fan questions. Are there any other topics that are just biting at your ankles, Mitch, you want to cover?
Not today.
Not today. It's been a great week of baseball, man. Baseball's fucking fire. I love watching this shit and talking about this shit. And we can do it because of you guys. And you know what? It's really about the fans. And I love the fans. So we're going to answer some fan questions. And I have not looked at these, but they're in here. So I'll just if they're offensive. Who was your favorite player to watch as a kid? Or a season that made you love baseball? I'll tell you right now, Chipper Jones, he earned my heart as a kid. I believe I was probably like 3 and I heard the name Chipper and was like, that's fucking cool. He's got to be like the best player of all time. Turns out he was, and he was the coolest player ever. So Chipper Jones is my answer. A game that made me love baseball. I got a game that made me hate baseball. That was us losing to the Astros in 2004. John Smoltz lost. There was like a home run at the wall. I remember crying. I won't forget that.
3 straight years. Cubs in 2003 for me. Astros in 2004. Astros in 2005.
What, Cubs in 2003?
Yeah.
Who'd you like in 2003?
No, I was a Braves fan, but the Cubs beat the Braves in the NLDS.
Damn, you remember that. But we're
It was
same
the
age,
first
right?
time. I'm like
A year?
a year older than
That
you.
makes sense. When you're 3 or 4, that's like... Because that's like the baseball memory, one of my first baseball memories ever. I remember going to a game in Baltimore where the Braves were like getting killed by the Orioles. And I remember being in the outfield with my parents, and there was a bunch of shitbags like talking a lot of shit. And I just remember that for some reason. And then I remember the Braves came back from like 8 runs or something crazy. And I was in tears, and then I was like so happy. And I think maybe that was the game that made me fall in love. I have vague memories of that. But you remember the Cubs? 2003 Cubs.
It was my first year as a Braves fan. And like when you're 6, you think your team's never going to lose.
Yeah.
And then they lose in the first round. I should have known better. At that point, the Braves losing in the first round was already a thing.
Dude,
Right?
That's the thing. When you're a kid, you're such a fucking idiot. And like, I don't know, we have something wrong. Most kids, like your team loses, I feel like it's not a big deal. But when you're a fucking weirdo like me and Mitchell, like you just start crying your eyes out at 3. Why are you this invested in a fucking sport? You're 4 years old.
There's no crying in baseball.
There is, Jack. Stop with this toxic masculinity, man. Holy shit. We're allowed to be open and honest now, dude. It's 2025. Do you have any baseball memories growing up, Jack? In right field, cut from the team, probably. Pussy.
No, I don't have a single baseball memory growing up, dude.
Yeah.
Albert Pujols comes to mind.
Yeah, I remember Albert Pujols. Yeah, he was playing when you were a kid. What year were you born in?
1994. I was probably like
So old.
1920 when he was playing, right?
Yeah, so what? Yeah, 1920. That was Pujols' that was like his prime, but he got into the 30s.
So, Joey, I found the game that you went to. June 27th, 2004. The Baltimore Orioles were up 7-0 in the 6th inning. The Braves score 1 in the 7th, 7 in the 8th, and win 8-7. If I saw that game live, I don't think I'd ever not be a Braves fan.
Yeah, and that was probably the first live game I ever been to. I mean, that was before the Nats got here. I think we went to maybe like some minor league games. We got into the Javy Baes Sox. Maybe there was a team in Fredericksburg. That would be a closest team. Or the Potomac team. I don't know if they had one back then. I remember going to some minor league games and not really remembering anything.
Wait, I just remembered I do have a baseball memory. The first Rays game I ever went to, I was off to the side, whatever you call that, seating, and I caught a foul ball. I didn't catch a foul ball. It hit me in the chest directly. But then they felt bad, and they threw me another ball.
Damn, that could have been your Zach Campbell origin story. I got hit in the chest and they didn't give me a ball. They wouldn't give me another. An old man took it from me.
No, legitimately, an old man did take it from me. My dad got his face a little.
Damn, I give it to a kid. That's you got. So you got hit with a fucking line drive.
I doubt it. I doubt it. It was. I feel like it was like a pop fly kind of situation.
Yeah, you got to keep your head on the swivel. I mean, but if you're an adult, give it to a kid. But if the kid is a little dork and he misses one right to him, you got to teach him his lesson a little bit. So I do respect that man for what he did, and I'm glad he did what he did. And
It's my origin story.
we're gonna go to a game.
Why I hate baseball.
Yeah, we're gonna go one of these games and we're gonna get Jack a foul ball, and then he's gonna be. We're gonna fix everything. I mean, really, there's a lot of kids who just got a ball when they were like 6, probably, and just loved baseball ever since. Like, it is a really good marketing tool with baseball. Is like you can get balls, and if you're a kid and you're sitting in the first 5 rows, your chances of getting a ball, I want to say, like, are 50-50. It's pretty high. If you're sitting next to the ball boy, sitting out.
Oh, right in the outfield. Where
Yeah.
They just hand you. Oh yeah, that's way too high.
I was an ugly kid though, dude.
Yeah, Jack, no more negative self-talk out of you, man. You're a beautiful person. You're a beautiful producer. You're fucking great at baseball, and you're great at everything.
I'm great. I've been working on my knuckleball, dude. I've been grabbing my zinc container and I've been fucking. You know what I mean?
That's important. What would it take for the Rockies to win a World Series? Just money? Yeah, just money.
I disagree. I think the thing with the Rockies, a lot of teams or a lot of people want to just say, "Oh, the Rockies don't spend enough money." Like but their problem's not like the Pirates or the A's. Dick Monfort just like goes, "Hey, pay the Cardinals $50 million to take Arenado's contract, but then spend more on Chris Bryant." He's calling all the shots.
Yeah, it's not a money issue for the Rockies. Yeah, money would help, but they do spend like decent amount on the team. It's just the guy who it's really the owners is the main issue and the front office. Like you need a new owner and new front office.
In 2020, their scouting or their analytics department, they were also the clubhouse attendants because he was too cheap to pay.
The clubhouse, literally the bat boys.
So
like
they're 9 to 5. They were like running analytics, and then they'd go down to the stadium and they'd be clubhouse attendants.
Clubhouse attendants.
Yeah,
Dude,
I don't think they got paid extra either.
Yeah, so that's what you need to fix. Get some guys who know what WAR means and what. Get a guy who's not focused on the pitcher's win and loss and knows what OPS stands for, which is harder than it sounds. I didn't know what OPS stood for until like a year ago, so I'm on record knowing that. I knew what it was. I didn't know what it stood for. Whatever. Can you talk about the Yankees more? Yeah, let's talk about the Yankees. Yankees first place. Aaron Judge, best player in the league, best player in the world, maybe. Anything else in the Yankees?
I think we need to have a 400 watch for Aaron Judge because he's hitting like 420.
432.
432. And his Baseball Savant page is like, yeah, that makes sense.
This is what I talk about the Yankees. Aaron Judge currently leads the league in WAR, leads the league in runs, leads the league in hits, leads the league in RBIs, leads the league in average, leads the league in on base, leads the league in slugging, leads the league in OPS, leads the league in weighted on base average, leads the league in RBAT plus, whatever the fuck that is, leads the league in total bases, lead the league in individual bases on balls.
It leads the league in bitches.
He's a family man. He's dedicated to his wife, who
right.
I believe got a DUI and
All right,
said,
Mrs. Judge.
"I'm married to Aaron Judge." Am I making that up? I do not want. I do not want to disparage Aaron Judge's wife. I believe that was a clip going around.
She's in court. Sir, I am also a judge.
I'm an asshole, dude. I just have to bring it up. I'm like, oh, you bring up Aaron Judge's wife. Wasn't there that clip of his wife getting a DUI? And I have to bring attention to it. It's fucked up.
I did not know this.
Yeah. Well, we all have our bad moments. At least she's married to Aaron Judge. She'll get over it. All right. Well, that's about it. There's one more. They sound ungrateful for not having a desk to share. I suggest you take away their chairs and get them a bench to share. That's a good idea.
I think it's fucking weird that Mitch chooses these questions and he put that in here.
No, I just I was like, I'm gonna put that in there, and then Jack was like, a bench might be nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Trim, suck my dick.
Yeah, you guys aren't starters yet. Put them on the bench. Any final thoughts, fellas?
Congratulations to the TeTas hat giveaway.
Do we want to do another giveaway?
We need to do something. You're gonna hit 1 million subscribers on the main channel.
Oh yeah, you're close.
And it's getting a lot closer than you think. You're at 974, I think, 1,000. That last 25,000 can come pretty quickly.
I'd say we delete the channel.
I said we celebrate. Go to a fucking game, dude.
Million is overrated. I like 900,000 better. I think we start from scratch. I think
Jack and I fight for the fight to the death for the plaque, for the gold plaque.
that plaque might never come, brother. You saw Foolish Baseball just got his 100,000 plaque.
Do you have yours?
Yeah, they sent it to you late though. I mean, there's this weird I think if you get enough copyright things or something, because MLB's claiming shit, and then I don't know, you get on a list. That's funny. It took him 5 years to get his plaque.
No, that was for Foolish Bailey. He doesn't have his Foolish Baseball one.
Oh, yeah, interesting. He deserves it. We all deserve it. 1 million subscribers, I'll probably do nothing. Honestly, not a numbers guy. Not a numbers guy.
1,000,001,
I'll
no
say-
milestone.
you know
We don't care.
I'll thank the fans. I'll thank the fans for a million. Thank you guys for coming out.
No free hoodie for anyone. Just a thank you.
You know what? But it kind of bothers me when YouTubers do that, where they have a video that pops off, or they hit a milestone and they go, "Oh, thanks guys! Thank you so much for being there." And it's yeah, if you don't enjoy the people watching your videos, you're a fucking asshole. Obviously, I'd be a fucking loser if no one watched my videos. Everyone knows that. But it kind of seems like you're just kind of jacking yourself off if you're thanking the fans every time you do something good. You get 100,000 followers. Thanks, guys. You couldn't do it without you. It's at some point you're just bragging about having 100,000.
You don't gotta do it, dude. We'll jack you off.
Yeah, you should throw a fucking surprise party for me.
Jack is not speaking for all of us here. I think it is funny. Do you know the ratio of how many subscribers watch videos versus non-subscribers?
No.
72% not subscribed to 28.
Yeah, if I just went every video and said, "Please subscribe to my channel," I'd have 1 million a year ago, maybe. I don't know.
Probably 2 years ago.
But guess what, dude? I'm just such a freaking...
Joey doesn't beg.
I don't even care, bro. I'll delete the channel tomorrow. I don't need this shit. I don't need this shit.
Dude, he'll go work at Denny's, bro.
Yeah.
Jack and I are just frantically what else can we do with our job? What can we do for our career?
Yeah. Well, when
Go to John Boy, I guess.
when podcast doesn't exist, gets 1 million subscribers, then we'll celebrate. Until then, gives a fuck about 1 million. You know how many channels have 1 million subscribers who I look at and say, don't respect them, don't like them? There's a lot of lames with 1 million.
I mean, how many?
There's
Do you have
so
a number?
many. There's so many lame people
How
with
many
1
Do you want to
million.
go ahead and
subscribers.
shout out one?
How many subs does the Savannah Bananas have?
Not less than that.
9 million?
Oh,
I don't
on
TikTok.
YouTube?
Oh,
On YouTube, they probably don't have 1 million, but on TikTok, they got 9 million. See, until we beat the Savannah Bananas, I will not rest or celebrate a fucking second.
Savannah Bananas have 1.94 million, so
Oh,
we got some more to
That's
do.
when we'll celebrate.
yes. Until we beat the Savannah Bananas, I will not rest. I will not take a second off. We'll make more TikToks, more videos, more podcasts until we take the Savannah Bananas down.
In order for us to do that, a reminder, we do have 2 positions open. Apply before Joey starts to narrow down the applicants. Still up on the YouTube Baseball Doesn't Exist community page, the link to apply.
Yes.
Editor and a researcher.
Please apply. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll come back to you live on Thursday. Thank you, everybody. See you later.
Not live.
Live on Thursday.
Do it live.